This is Doug Wilson. He was the subject of a documentary recently, and he is just so psychotic, it's ridiculous. Listen to this.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
That's a factual statement, yes.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother.
Look at her face. I love this. Look at her face. She's just like, looks like one of the faces I make. That's funny, dude.
Wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue?
No. No, it's not automatically an issue.
Christchurch senior.
It is an issue, and I'll tell you in what way it's an issue. He doesn't care about her life, but he wants to form out the culture of the United States by force, at gunpoint, with the help of the United States government, the military and the police force. Wants to form it into something that bans women from being in the workforce completely. He openly says, and I'll show you in a second, he wants to revoke women's ability to vote. He wants to revoke their ability to work in the workforce or anything at all. They should be at home taking care of their families. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Handmaid's Tale. And you know, that show is like, wow, that's crazy. That would never happen. But this guy actually literally wants it. And he's not a nobody. He knows Pete Hegseth and has been to Pete Hegseth's church to give a sermon. Again, I'll show you in a second. Listen to this. Pete Hegseth, by the way, is the Secretary of Defense, I believe.
Pastor Doug Wilson is the leader of a Christian nationalist movement that believes in a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands. Josh and Amy Prince, along with their 4 kids, moved from Washington State to Moscow, Idaho, where Wilson's movement is based.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no.
That means no. You either see her as an equal or you don't, right?
If you see someone as an equal, you wouldn't say and no, because you would comprehend how crazy that is.
That is psychotic.
In the sense that we're both saved by grace, we're absolutely on equal footing.
So in Jesus' eyes, we're on equal footing, but in my eyes, we're not.
But we have very different purposes, God-given.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here,
I was just going to say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great example.
Great example.
Wilson says
That's insane. She didn't want to move there. It's pretty clear to me, right? This is identical to The Handmaid's Tale, and that is horrifying for so many reasons. It was like it was foretelling the future, that TV show.
his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors, Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter, agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote.
Okay, now hang on for a second. Before we go any further into this, let me tell you something about these people. Let me tell you about the Turner Diaries. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Turner Diaries. It's considered the most dangerous book in the world. And I read the book, and I did this whole long video analysis on it. I took notes on it all the way through, and I broke down the important parts and everything. And in the book, it's basically like you start out following this guy named Earl Turner, and it's like his diary entries or whatever. Kind of gay to keep a diary, if you ask me. But anyway, this dude's a far-right extremist nutcase. And in the book, it walks you through his radicalization into being a terrorist. And it's considered the most dangerous book in the world because it explains in detail how to make bombs with fertilizer. There's nothing censored in it, for example. How to counterfeit money and things like that. And a lot of terrorists, like right-wing domestic terrorists in the United States, have been caught with chapters of the Turner Diaries printed out. Like Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber, had chapters like 7 to 9 or something printed out when he was caught. There's one place that I have ever heard any kind of comparison between families and molecules, and you're going to hear it in a second. It's the Turner Diaries. They say families are too atomic right now, where individuals who vote are atomistic, like you're a single individual, but we should be voting like molecules, like family members. You know, what the head of the household votes on behalf of the entire family. The man votes for his wife and everything else. That is directly out of the Turner Diaries. I've never heard it anywhere else. Now listen to what they say here.
We would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
Well, that's the thing. People don't normally marry others who fundamentally disagree with them so completely on very, very important social issues and stuff, right? The people he's disenfranchising are women who aren't married. He's disenfranchising people who have a mind of their own.
Someone said, what about single people? I think
they are excluded. They are not allowed to vote in this scenario.
I think it would be the father votes for them.
Yeah.
Like up until whatever, and they just until they get married.
They have to be in a household or they don't get a vote at all.
What if it's a single man?
He's allowed to vote.
There's some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the
19th Amendment, by the way, is women's right to vote.
And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
It's an interesting thing for him to have said, huh?
I want to read that book.
Atomization. Well, like I said, I went through it and analyzed it and everything. You can watch the video on it if you don't want to read the book.
Which channel is it?
It's my main channel, I believe. And it's pretty hard to get your paws on.
Do you have the book?
Generally. I have a digital copy, and I have like I converted it to audio with a TTS system that I can listen to it. But yeah.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church, it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and government?
No, of course he doesn't.
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible.
Or in the government, why is he hedging? He knows if he just came out and gave us his real opinions on things, nobody would ever support him or vote for him, ever. So he has to pretend like he's a little bit normal so that he doesn't immediately turn people off of his whole bit.
The more that I think about this, like head of household voting thing, it heavily supports like child marriage because you vote at 18. That's the first year you can vote. So the goal would be married by 18.
Well, of course, my wife, she works as legal counsel for American Atheists, and she's been challenging a lot of child marriage bills. And wouldn't you know it, weirdly, Republicans are every single time the ones that are pushing child marriage bills. I don't understand why they're trying to get children married.
Because no one wants to marry them.
It's absolutely wild. But anyway, the point is they're doing all of the wrong things at every single turn. And I don't know how they justify this stuff to themselves.
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
And for some reason, he just completely ignored the government question.
Well, that's not what happens in the Bible. Women do lead all the time.
Jesus included women in all kinds of different things.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned about Wilson's growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country. They actually literally want to take over towns and cities, and they have access to this administration.
Wilson's highest level connection to the administration is Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later, the Doug Wilsons and the others.
Yeah, so he hasn't just mentioned Doug Wilson, but he's actually been to his church. Look, This is video of him shaking his hand. This is Doug Wilson shaking Pete Hegseth and his wife's hands. I believe Wilson spoke at Pete Hegseth's church is what's happening here.
Why is this kind of chair so popular? This blue...
I don't know,
like,
but they're
leather
awesome.
chair.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the point is that these people are very, very influential and should not be underestimated. Let's just check out one more video from this guy. It's hard to pick which one, but let's go with Joel Webbin. This is a close friend of Doug Wilson. They work together. They have the same ideology, and he's espoused the same things about atomistic, whatever.
My voice is more important.
Yep.
So I'm fine with everybody having a vote, but I should get 20. I should get 20, and then there's other people, and I'm not just talking about myself, there's other people who should get 100 and other people who should get 500 votes. Or what you could do is you could just say, no, we're actually just going to take votes from one sector of the population. And it's going to be heads of household who are married and committed to having children.
There you go.
Furthering the next generation. And they're heritage Americans. So
heritage Americans, you know what that means. White. It means white.
Not just American citizens, but they've actually been here for generations back. So they
Wait until this dude finds out about Native Americans. He's gonna freak out.
Yeah.
have a stake in the past. They have children. They're married with children. So they have a stake in the future. So they stake in the past, stake in the future. They're working. They're land owning. They're head of household. Yes, I'm speaking of men. And those individuals will have a vote. And it doesn't mean that nobody else has a voice, but everybody else will have a voice underneath their federal headship.
Yeah, that wasn't the video I was looking for, but we can leave that in because that was worth watching.
He said, some people should have 500 votes and some people should only have one. Or this. I don't understand why, like...
He's saying some people are worth less than others in democracy, in his ideal mind, like in his ideal democracy. But he isn't actually in favor of democracy at all. He is in favor of dictatorship, as this will prove.
We're degenerates. We're not even close to. We're degenerates. The Constitution is not. It's not suited for governing degenerates.
It was explicitly, intentionally written to govern degenerates. It was written and designed to govern people who wanted to live the life they wanted to live. It was designed so people can... it was designed around the principle that your right to swing your fist ends at the tip of my nose. You can swing your fist anywhere you want except here, because then you're not exercising your rights, you're violating my rights. That means I can be a gay, furry, cat girl, anime, blah, 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 whatever, and it doesn't affect you. So I'm allowed to do that. But I still fall within the bounds of the laws and the Constitution. So he's literally backwards with this. It is intentionally designed to govern degenerates.
For governing degenerates, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, if you agree, disagree. But I think for our population...
Why is this guy wearing construction boots with a suit?
Is degraded morally and culturally, and religiously, as far as we have. You need power. Men must be governed.
What a bizarre thing to say.
His dress shirt is plaid.
It is.
You need a Caesar type,
Well, why don't you just say it? We know what you mean when you say Caesar. You mean like a Hitler type. That's what he means. A dictator with an iron fist that comes in and controls everything and forces everybody to live life the way he wants them to.
See, the point of America, the reason America as a country exists is to avoid that, because we were fed up with the king and the queen controlling everything about our lives and whatever else. The entire reason we exist as a country is so that we don't exist as a dictatorship.
Insane.
Now, if you're asking me my preference, that would probably be my preference, would be a constitutional republic.
I don't believe him.
But I think the conditions for that is a moral people. So
no, it's not. It's the exact opposite.
I think you can work towards that in the future, but I don't think constitutioning even harder is going to get us out of our current mess.
No, that's the thing. It is. That's the problem. We aren't constitutioning. The problem is that he's walking away from the Constitution and saying, I'm done with it. I don't want anything to do with it. That is what's causing all these hangups, all these problems in society. People are ignoring basic human rights. So constitutioning harder is what we need.
I don't see us getting out of this apart from things getting worse and worse, and then eventually like a Caesar type.
Just say it. Just tell us who you're thinking. We all know who you're thinking when you say Caesar.
Like a Caesar type rising through the ranks, a populist, figure, and the people, the political will of the people, the people are desperate and they're like, yes, do it, so-and-so.
Just say the word.
And then so-and-so, Constitution be damned, just rules with an iron fist, and like a Cromwell type, and then
just say the name. You're listing everybody associated with this type of political ideology, except for the one that's most famous for it.
He said, Constitution be damned, rules with an iron fist.
You mean Constitution be hecked? Swearing over here. Anyway, yeah.
Constitution be hecked and rule with an iron fist.
Yeah.
He is psychotic. He needs to go anywhere else. I don't see how he's in America, like, I don't see how he's saying throw out the Constitution, basically.
You mean you don't see how he can grow up in this culture and live here and experience, like, the benefits that a constitutional republic has to offer and advocate for the exact opposite?
Well, he's rich.
That's true.
Type, and then you hopefully don't get his son. Maybe then you're able, and then you maybe it's just a one generation, one guy kind of thing, and then you have to move back to aristocracy or
aristocracy. Dude literally said he wants aristocracy.
That's what we're avoiding here.
So the point is that these people are psychotic. They're psychotic. They would literally institute the Handmaid's Tale government if they could, Gilead. The one thing I don't believe that these people would do is to create actual handmaids. If you're not familiar with the show, basically the premise is this, that they create this government by force and they take over the US government. However, the catalyst for it is there's some kind of a virus that's causing infertility in people, and there's a massive drop in birth rates, and the world is having trouble and they're trying to survive. So part of the thing that they institute in Gilead, this government that they create to replace the US government, is they get handmaids dressed in red who sinned in some way. They were, they were in a relationship and they slept with their boyfriend before they got married. They had children out of wedlock or whatever. As long as they have had children in the past, then it means that they can still have children because that's how this virus works that happened or whatever. So they make them handmaids. They make them wear all red all the time, little white hats, and live in the house like kind of like a slave, basically. And they have a ceremony every month where they try to get the handmaid pregnant, like 3 days in a row every single month. And they get her pregnant, they take the baby, and they move the handmaid to a new house, a new posting, quote unquote. And the family gets to keep the baby. So anyway, that part probably wouldn't be instituted. I don't see why it would. But every other piece is identical. It's like they watched the TV show or read the book and said, yes, I want that. It's wild. Anyway, these people are evil. They are straight up evil. Tell me your thoughts.